You are listening to Productivity Straight Talk with your host, Amber De La Garza. Amber is a sought-after productivity coach, trainer, speaker, and writer who gives entrepreneurs the straight talk on personal productivity. No BS, fluff, or overused jargon. Just actionable strategies to get results and succeed in business. And here is your host, Amber De La Garza, the Productivity Specialist.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to Productivity Straight Talk. Today's episode 150. If you're a business owner who wants to improve your time management and elevate your productivity so that you can maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you've joined me. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to share with you an episode that I published about 6 months ago called Contact Cleanup, Making This Necessary Evil Profitable. Now stick with me. If you did hear that episode already and you didn't take action, then stay tuned, listen again, get inspired, and take action. And if you didn't listen to that episode, I wanted to make sure that I brought it to you now, because I believe that based on the conversations I've been having with many small business owners, is that we are looking for ways to invest our time in the here and now in activities that we can do and that will produce a result for our business, a profitable result for our business in the future. And what I'm calling that is making decisions about how to invest your time now to create assets that are in your business that will serve you into the future. And one of the biggest ways that I believe that you can do that is actually cleaning up your contact management system, but also, I'm actually jumping ahead, but I still want you to listen to the episode, is that while this is strongly administrative and often something that we put to the back burner is not that important, there's a huge return on it if you do it the way that I teach in this episode, which is all about having conversations and building relationships while also doing the administrative task of cleaning up or setting up and creating your contact management system. And so what you're going to be doing is killing two birds with one stone in a time that I think that relationships are of the utmost importance. And that when things normalize, the relationships that you invest your time in now, I guarantee will reap benefits to you and your business into the future. So in this episode, what I'll be sharing with you is the benefits of a contact management database, how to select the best one for your business, cleanup hacks that you've got to try, how to make money off of your contact cleanup, and so much more. So I want you to stay tuned and listen to this episode because now is the time. I know you have heard this from me in the past few weeks, but now is the time to lay stake and claim on the success of your business. That showing up and doing the things that you don't feel like doing or that may feel hard is actually absolutely what you need to be doing right now. Because what your business needs is you. It needs you to show up. It needs you to really double down and do what it takes with what you can do, right? And so relationships are not closed, no matter what industry you're in. If you are looking for an activity that shows up in your marketing and visibility bucket and that can reap benefits into the future, this is a great opportunity. All right. Now, if you're listening and you're like, Amber, I don't have time. Like, what are you talking about? Look, I get it. I have yet to find a single business owner that has told me that they have like all this extra time where they're Netflixing and sitting by the pool like many of our friends are doing because they're laid off or on furlough. As business owners, we're probably busier than ever and wearing more and more hats. So if that's you and you're wondering how can you make the time to really invest in doing a contact cleanup and investing your time in creating a contact management system and building those relationships, even when you're wearing hats such as teaching your kids and probably cooking more meals and all of the added things going on right now, I want you to go take my free Take Back Your Time mini training. And in that training, I'm going to be outlining one of the best strategies that I've shared with my clients over the last nearly decade to teach them how to take back control of their time. So you can grab that free mini training by going to theproductivityspecialist.com/take back your time. And now let's get to the straight talk. Hey. So today, like I said in the intro, we are talking about contact management databases. They can also be referred to as CRMs, which are contact relationship management programs. And so from this point forward, I'm going to reference it as CRMs just to expedite the conversation. And I also often refer to them as CRMs. So what is a CRM? Ultimately, there are so many programs out there, but the reason the programs are out there and how the programs function is so that you can have all of your contacts. And I want you to think of prospective clients, current clients, past clients. You may also call them leads or prospects. You might think of them as people that you truly just want to keep building a relationship with. They may refer business to you, or they may be strategic partners. And so it is a program in which you are inputting the information so that the information can be accessed and spit back to you in a way that you can strategically and consistently keep in touch with them. Now, the ways in which you can keep in touch with your CRM are endless, as many ways as there are to market yourself or even to have a one-on-one relationship. You know, you've got some friends you only text with. You've got other friends that are just like Facebook friends. You have others that you see every weekend to have a girls' night out, or maybe it's a family barbecue. So you can see how even in your own personal life, you have different relationships with different people. What I love about a CRM system is it's a way to keep yourself organized and then be very purposeful in the way in which you want to continue building that relationship. Because ultimately, no matter what business you're in, we're in the business of relationships because you're selling to someone, right? It's not this like transactional, sterile environment. Truly, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And that means that there's some sort of relationship there. And just like any relationship, it's important to stay in contact if you want the relationship to continue to grow and to build. So whether you're in real estate, you're a financial advisor, an interior designer, an insurance broker, a nonprofit, graphic designer, virtual assistant, it doesn't really matter what your label is on how you show up and serve your clients. Every single business is a relationship business. And so ultimately, you need to have a way to stay in touch with your contacts. You could be doing business with people in your database you haven't thought of in years, like literally years. Or maybe they haven't thought of you in years because you're not staying top of mind. I really want you to know that using a CRM system can be very, very effective and efficient. And what it does is it allows you to go from haphazardly just reaching out to people when you randomly think about them and not having people fall through the cracks. It's also a very leverageable way for you to be able to reach more people consistently. Here are some of the benefits. And when I say some, here are just a few. And these are the ones that stand out to me. Having a CRM program allows you to stay top of mind consistently. I want you to think about that for a minute because I've got a lot of clients that have very large databases and they think, oh, I just don't have enough time to stay in touch with people or consistently, or their circle's really small with the prospective clients they do keep in touch with. So by using a CRM system, you're able to consistently and systematically stay top of mind to your ideal clients or contacts. Why is this important? When there is someone sitting down at a barbecue and the friend says, oh my gosh, like I have this need that needs to be scratched, like I have a pain point, I want you to be the first person they think of. I want you to be the first person that everyone thinks of for what you are known for so that they can refer you business, one, or actually become your business. So that actually leads me to benefit number 2, which it will generate more business. So think of clients that you already have and you can serve them in a different way or an additional way. New business, because maybe it's someone you met at a networking event or a barbecue, or they opted in on your website. And so they were pretty much a cold contact. By nurturing them and consistently staying in front of them, you're going to generate new business. And then also by consistently staying in front of them, you'll earn referral business. And so I love to say it will generate you more business, new business, and referral business. Now, as your business grows and your contacts grow, it can become daunting and overwhelming. And geez, like where do you even start? And I'm going to give you some tips on not just where to start. Here's the biggest challenges that I see, honestly. One of the biggest challenges I have found is that clients do not have a client contact database, a CRM. So that means it's on your wish list. You know intuitively that you need one, but you haven't pulled the trigger on like which CRM system and how will I use it and who will set it up and all the things. Or B is you have one, but it's a complete mess. And so you've maybe had a false start or you implemented it with the good intentions of keeping it updated and it's no longer serving you. So it becomes a big, giant, daunting, overwhelming project that takes way too long and honestly never gets started. And some of this has to do with the mindset that it's highly administrative. I mean, I got to tell you, like, actually, I've never met anyone excited about putting their CRM together. So if you think you should be excited about this and you're not, stop thinking that, okay? 2, sometimes we got to do hard things. We just got to like suck it up and do the thing because you know that the end result is it will serve you. And it's really, in my opinion, kind of short-term thinking and not long-term thinking because yes, it's like painful in the short term to either select a database, CRM, get it up and going, or overhaul and recommit to your CRM. Seems like short-term pain because the long-term benefit is that things will not seem as chaotic. You will show up in your business more proactively than reactively, meaning whenever someone remembers me, refers me, or wants to work with me, I'm good with that versus you're proactively reaching out to stay top of mind to generate this business on a consistent basis. Okay, that's like the long-term win. Now, I don't want to ignore that whatever camp you're in, A or B, whether you have none or you have one and it's not serving you well, I want you to know that I got some tips for you on how to get started and to not make this highly administrative. What I'm going to recommend on how you move forward with finding, selecting, and executing on a database if you don't have one or fully utilize the database you're getting cleaned up while making money you already have in there. So I want to tell you, we're going to make this a money-making activity, which then puts it into the category of highly leverageable, highly productive activity. And it's not in that other bucket of like someday maybe and when I have time. Because my guess is you'll never have time unless you make time. That wasn't a guess. I'm telling you, you'll never have time unless you make time. And one of the ways to make time is to make it a revenue generating activity. So if you're in Camp A and you don't currently have a CRM, I bet your biggest challenge likely is selecting one. There are literally so many programs out there. And the idea of sifting through and maybe not knowing exactly what you need or knowing what you need, but not knowing if the program will be a fit for you, I got to tell you, being in limbo on this decision is very detrimental to your business. It is a place that I see a lot of people get stuck. So that's why I want to talk to this. I would first like to tell you to myth bust this. There is no perfect, glitch-free, non-buggy CRM system out there. And I do want to acknowledge that what works for me may not work for you. And so while we may be in the same exact industry, there's probably a handful of CRMs that are specific to my industry. And you could literally be sitting next to your colleague and one person is raving about the CRM and you're like, I hate the CRM. So I get it. We don't want something we hate, but it's worth doing the homework and fact finding and sourcing what do people like? Okay, how so? Not like, oh my gosh, like I love this program. Okay, that's great. So how so? And dig deep, like why do they like it? What features are they using? Are those features that are important to you? And then make a date to make a decision. And I'm going to tell you that again, you've got to get over the hurdle of not making a decision because not making a decision is an expensive decision. And so I recommend that every database has at least these features. And honestly, they almost all do, but it needs to work for you. And you know what? Something just came up too that I think is worth saying is yes, you need to find something that's within your budget. Most CRM programs are not complete buyouts any longer. They're monthly subscriptions. And this is truly an investment in your business. If used correctly, it actually becomes this like silent automated employee. That's how I like to think about my CRM, is once you input the right information, and we'll get into that, but once you tell it what to do, it will literally tell you what to do. So when you show up, now you're just following your CRM. It's going to tell you who to contact, when to contact, what to say, and when to say it. And how awesome would that be that an upfront investment will return that kind of return? And so here are some features that I think are really important when considering your CRM. I want you to first be looking at industry-specific CRMs if you have an industry. So like real estate absolutely has a handful of industry-specific CRMs. Actually, every industry, I can just literally keep naming them off. You call it financial advisors, insurance agents. Just about any of these verticals have industry-specific CRMs. Now, if you're a general online business, right, and you don't fit into one of these specific verticals, there are a lot of simple standalone CRMs out there. So I personally use Ontraport. Now, on the scale of simple to complicated, mine is on the very complicated side, okay? And we'll talk about that a bit more, but it fits where I'm at in my business and what I needed my CRM system to do. I started out with an Excel sheet, and then I got another CRM. And so I built up to moving my business and myself into Ontraport. There's Infusionsoft, there's Insightly, Soho, and honestly, the list can literally go on. And that's the challenge. So I don't want you to look at everything. I want you to get some recommendations and research those and then just make a decision. Because honestly, they're all quite similar. And I always joked that my frustration, even when I was in real estate and a decade and a half ago, I was like, I should just build out the best CRM system for real estate. Like, I got this in my head. I know exactly what it needs to do. I know exactly what I want from it. And, it was a fleeting thought that often came around, but I wasn't like I was really going to do that. That's not my lane to create programs. But I always thought that in my head because of my frustration with the CRMs. And then I realized exactly what I'm telling you. There's no perfect system. And if I would really go down the path of creating this perfect system, guess who it would be perfect for? Me. And maybe a handful of other people, because we all think differently. We all process information differently. We all need to interact with our programs probably a bit differently. So again, I want you to, if there's trials, try it, look at it, demo it, feel it around. And then here's another feature that I think that you really need to consider. In this day and age, all CRM should be accessible on all platforms. So whether you're Apple or PC or tablet or your phone, web-based, internet, maybe even an offline version, that's kind of important too, is like it needs to be accessible in all the places. And then the next one that I love to always look at is what is the exportability of the information that's put in there? Because you've got to be careful that you're putting the lifeblood of your business into another program. Now, there's a lot of protection and privacy policies, all that good stuff. And I honestly haven't heard of any CRM system stealing or sharing someone's information. They would be literally out of business. But what's important is down the road as your business shifts or your needs change, how exportable is the information so that you can import it into your new system? Because this isn't a marriage where you're going to be with them till the end of your business life, right? You're going to use probably different systems. Some new player is going to come into town and have the new features that you need. So yes, you are going to change. But B, don't just jump ship. When you jump ship easily, there is a huge, huge financial and time loss. Okay. So when you're looking at jumping ship from program to program, you really want to consider all of those costs. Now, I'm getting a little off track, but I do like to share that. If you're that person that dabbles in this program and dabbles in that program and dabbles in that program, my advice to you is different. Pick a program and stick with it for the long term. And down the road, then as you grow and there's a real need to change because maybe the program's no longer serving your business or you've outgrown it, then change. And then lastly, one of the features that are really important to me is even if you're using the most simplistic CRM system or the most complicated system, I want you to have a drip follow-up system to remind you. It's like usually called an action plan or if this, then that kind of features. So I want you to be able to tell your CRM system how frequently do you want to keep in touch with this contact and how do you want to keep in touch with this contact? And so now the program is literally going to spit it back to you so that you can say, yeah, I want to stay in touch with this contact monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, annually. If I want to stay in touch with them quarterly, I want a reminder for a personal note twice a year and a phone call twice a year, or a text message once a year and a phone call. You should be able to customize how you show up to your clients and any really good CRM system. And it's all about the automation, because when I first started out, I started out in an Excel sheet. And so I would just write my notes of how I contacted them and what they said, and then determine the next date I wanted to contact them again. And so at that level, there's nobody reminding me to reach out. I'm putting the information in, I'm reviewing the information, and then I'm making a decision of when to reach out again. It's very elementary, but if you have to start somewhere, that's a great start, because at least you have all your contacts in one place and you're still systematically reaching out. It's just not automatically. So now let's just say that you are in Can't Be and you already have a contact management database and it's a mess, or you're just not using it. The reason for that may be that you actually never took the time to stop and learn the database. Think about that. You invest this money. First of all, let me just tell you some real stories. I have met so many people that invest month after month after month. And I'm not talking little dollars. I'm talking hundreds of dollars, $100, couple $100 a month in a program, because they have the hope and dream that next month's going to be the month that they use it. And so they're literally investing in it, but not taking the time to truly invest it, because any CRM is two investments. It's financial and it's time. It's a new program you're learning. And so I have found that if you're in this camp, it's generally a resistance to actually learning how to use it. So let's just say you make the step to make the selection and you don't take it to the finish line, which is like, how do you use it? How do you integrate this into your business and your day? Every great CRM has tutorials, videos, how-tos that should definitely be watched. Now, here's my little asterisk and disclosure, depending on where you're at in your business. So if you're in a place where you're still doing a lot of these types of activities, then yes, like you need to learn how to do it. But there's a spectrum of learning. So when I got my CRM system Ontraport, I did watch training videos. I did do that. However, I didn't do it and absorb the information in a way that I needed to actually execute on everything. I approached the training and the how-tos about I wanted to know, because my program is very robust, is what is possible. So that when I'm asking my consultant or assistant to be working in my program, I'm fully utilizing its features and its how-tos. I don't need to know how it happens. I need to know that it can happen. And so that's how I approached the training, because I was really clear that I could not be the person that was building out my CRM system. Again, because mine's more robust. There's a lot of if this, then that, then that. If you have a very simple CRM system, and even one that's very popular in your specific industry, there's generally always consultants or independent contractors that specialize in setting it up. You can also even go to the company that you're buying the program through. And sometimes they have a list of people that they recommend, like our partners or consultants, that will get you set up. The one thing that I don't think is talked about enough is that you could choose to have somebody set things up for you, and then you need to learn enough to keep it going. And those are two different projects. One's maintaining your CRM, which is much simpler and easier, and one's like the full-on support and customization and setup. And so you may be looking at your next adventure into a CRM, whether it's new or recommitting to the one you have, is that the way forward is actually hiring out for help. And depending on where your business, that's the only choice you have. That is your choice. If you're newer in your business and you're building it up and you're still with a very small team or little to no team, then you just need to sit down and do it. Because I can tell you that this investment in a CRM and then utilizing it will be a very good investment of your time. So perhaps you've tried effectively using your database, but it feels clunky and doesn't really work for you, right? Like, so now you're in the camp of like, hey, Amber, I have a CRM. I have given it a good old shot, and I am telling you, it's not the one for me. Well, guess what? You guys dated and you found out before you got married that it is not the one. That is okay too. But what I have found is coming to that answer quicker right? Okay, instead of sitting in limbo and like pushing through a relationship that's not working. I'm sorry, we're talking CRMs. Pushing through the CRM that's not working and being half out of it, and it's not really serving you because it's not the right program for you, because it doesn't seem intuitive, it seems clunky, or maybe the features are just not aligned with what you need. You're at a point that you honestly gave it your best shot to see if you can make it work for you, then you need to choose a different one. And you know what? It's not a loss, because now you're clearer about what you need and don't need, and you're probably really clear about what you like. And so as you start demoing other CRMs, I think you're going to intuitively know better what you like and what you're going to need at the end of the day. So again, to just tie that up in a bow for you is there's no perfect CRM. The best CRM for you is the CRM you use. And that's it. Honestly, it could be all the features, a few features, but the program and CRM that you use consistently is the CRM that works best for you, because you will see the results in your business. All right. So I also want to give you this bit of advice. It could honestly feel like it's overcomplicated for you, or the CRM systems are complicated for you. I want you to approach it with KISS, KISS, like I told you back in episode 113. And I want you to keep it stupid simple. I want you to consider this is the version that you're at right now. It doesn't need to be the version of the CRM you have in 3 years or 5 years. And I want you to, even if your program has the ability to do all the bells and whistles, I want you to make the commitment of just starting to use its most basic features. Keep it stupid simple. And I tell you that because even in my Entreport, right, like in my program, we converted to it back in January of 2017, and we're still not using all the features. What we do is we evaluate, is there something else that the program can do for us at the time that my business needs it? Had I tried to make it do all the things back in 2017, it would have overwhelmed me, it would have overwhelmed the team, and honestly, now the program wouldn't be serving us. And this program should be serving you and your business. It's also worth saying that when you're customizing the program, you want to make sure that you have the ability to show up in the way that's most authentic to you. And don't lose sight of that, because if you authentically show up naturally with your clients, via text during the time you work together, don't switch to just reaching out to them via email. Right? Like that's not going to connect. That's not where they're at. And so you want to be able to have customization and have options of how you show up consistently to your clients. Okay, so I told you that I was going to share with you how to make a decision on your database or how to recommit to your database if you're in one of those two camps. But now let's say you've made those decisions, you have your CRM, and everyone's in the same camp now. So you're moving forward with your CRM. The next challenge that is extremely, extremely common is that you can have an empty CRM and no information, because the information is literally everywhere. And I am not exaggerating. There are going to be spectrums of this, but you could have them saved to your phone, but linking to your Gmail account, linking to your other Gmail account on sticky notes in client files. Maybe it's in an old CRM system you used, or maybe it's in an industry-specific program that maybe your brokerage has. So you've started there. Honestly, maybe you just have like random text messages in your phone with leads or someone that you spoke to or talked to. You probably have this information all around you. So the very first step that I want you to take is creating an Excel sheet. And there's a couple ways to do this. First of all, don't do it manually. And if you need help and don't know what I'm talking about here, go get help, because you can really mess this up and it's extremely simple. It's just not simple if you don't understand what I'm saying. My recommendation is that you export all the data from all the digital places you can into a CSV file. From the CSV file, you're going to merge the data. You're going to convert it into an Excel sheet. If you don't have Excel, you can use the G Suite version of it too. So from CSV into an Excel file. And there's codes out there where you can use formulas for them to match it together. Or you can take all the information and simply just sort it by first name. And so what you'll see is you have like Amber in there 3 times. And it's Amber D and it's Amber De La Garza. And then it's just Amber. And only you are going going to know that that's the same person. And my guess is in one contact, you have my phone number, my cell number. In another contact, you have my email. And in another contact, perhaps even just my address is in there. Now, I am not exaggerating here because I have physically seen this with my own eyes so many times. And so what you're going to do is now, if you hired somebody to export all the information from your phone and your Gmail accounts and either on old CRMs and unused CRMs, and it's all in one Excel database, now the only person that can touch it and make decisions is honestly you. Now, you could possibly hire a VA to truly merge the ones that seem like, yeah, there's Amber de la Garza twice with the same exact phone number. But what happens more often than not is it's pieces of the information, or maybe it's two different phone numbers and only you really know the phone number that you used to reach out to them last or whatever. And so this information is in your head. And so now you have, honestly, the daunting task of cleaning up hundreds or thousands of emails of contacts that you've met. So at a networking event or anywhere. And it doesn't need to be daunting. And this is the part that will make you money. So once you have this complete all-in-one place database in Excel, before you're importing it into any CRM, because we don't want to put, mess in is mess out, okay? And so if you just dump it in messy, guess what? It's going to feel messy coming out. And so we want to clean it up here. And here's what I recommend. Is that you make a commitment to how many contacts you want to reach out to on a daily basis or a weekly basis. And let's just say it's 10 contacts a day or maybe 25 contacts a week. And you go down the list and you make a phone call or you text them or you email them and you meet them where they're at. And maybe you put notes in. You're like, oh my gosh, I totally recognize that name, but let me write down where I met them. You can do that in one of the cell fields inside Excel. And I want you to reach out and you can say something like, hey, I am cleaning up my database. I came across your name and I just want to make sure I have your correct information. I'm really looking forward to staying in touch with you. Again, I'm ad-libbing that. Or you could say nothing about cleaning up your database and you can just say hi, right? This isn't a sales call. This is a reconnection. How are you doing? How are the kids? How is your business deal we were talking about last time? Show up and show an interest. That's how you build relationships. And so then when you're systematically calling them back the next time and you bring up doing business with you or how can you serve them or do they know anyone that can do business with you, it's not weird. It's not awkward because you've already shown that you're going to invest in them. And so here's the deal. This is the magic. Hold it. Listen to this point. When you make contact with people, you will drum up more business, new business, or referral business. And so instead of thinking I have to clean up my whole database and build it all out and then one day start seeing the fruits of that labor, no. I want you to start reaching out in the messiest way, clean it up as you go, and then import it either in chunks as you get done with it, or if it's a really big list, you'll probably want to import in chunks so that it gets on your automated system and you're using your CRM. If it's not that big of a list, then go through the whole list and then import the information into your CRM. And from this time forward, you're going to be using your CRM to reach out. I want you to think of it as you are getting paid to create and clean up your database. That's what this is. And so I have one last little bonus here. Well, actually, I have two bonuses for you. So the first bonus for you here, bonus tip, is that if you're calling someone and you don't know what to say, just pre-script a little outline. If you're going to email them, then just write the email and copy, paste, and customize. If you're going to reach out to them via Messenger, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, just have your text already created and then customize it for them. When you are more prepared with knowing how you want to show up and you're clear about that, you get to be super, super present with the person you're talking to. So that's going to be bonus tip number one. And then the one last bonus is a mindset bonus. If you are feeling intimidated about showing up and reaching out to people that you may have not reached out to for a very long time or had the best of intentions to reach out to them, or maybe they're colder leads and you're like, oh my gosh, where do I start? Guess what? Couple things. One, you're not asking for business. You're seriously, sincerely reaching out to them to see how they're doing and stay in contact. So there's really nothing for them to say no to you about. And then two is start with your past clients. Build the momentum on wins. because I would guess that your past clients know, trust, and love you because they've already worked with you. And so those are the people you're going to want to reach out to first. Now, oh my gosh, I had so much to say about this topic. I actually have another bonus tip. If you've tried this before and had false starts, which is completely normal and common. So you're like, yeah, Amber, I've done this before and I started going and then I backed off and then life got busy and then, or I got on vacation or, oh my gosh, Amber, it actually worked and then I got clients, so I stopped doing it. And if you're laughing to yourself right now listening to it, you know I'm right. I've seen this happen time and time again. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this kicking and screaming. Thanks for the advice, Amber. And then I get the message, oh my gosh, it's working. Thank you so much for making me do this, Amber. And then I get the message of, oh my gosh, it's working. I don't have time to also keep calling my database. No. Yes, you do, because we broke this up into small, biteable, daily actionables. So maybe it goes from 10 a day to 5 a day because now you're investing more time in working with your clients. Why would you stop the thing that's working? Like, you're getting feedback data and it is working and it's putting dollars into your business and profits. Why would you stop? My encouragement is get back to it. Don't stop. Stay consistent. And so when you're looking to do this, sometimes momentum is our best friend, and we find momentum in wins. And the wins can be found in people that you know, like, and trust you. So that's one place that you can start. The other place that you can start if you want, and you said you've had false starts, my guess is your A clients have been reached out to many times, but maybe not your G clients, meaning Gonzalez. Okay, so Mr. and Mrs. Gonzalez haven't been reached out to often because you keep starting at Mr. and Mrs. Ace. And then you get a start again in 6 months and you start again at the top. So here's the deal. Pick a pet's name and use the first letter of their name and start there next time. Or maybe it's your grandchild, or maybe it's your favorite kid, and I won't tell anyone who your favorite kid is. What's the first initial of their name? Start there. Like, literally pick any letter in the alphabet and then just work your way down. But if you've done this before, don't keep starting at A, because you've probably worked and reworked that part of your list and they feel loved and the rest of your list feels ignored. So that's it. Honestly, those are all my tips and strategies around making this a powerful profitability activity, not just in the short run, but in the long term. So we know it's going to work in the long term. And I have really worked to create a strategy that's going to allow you to make profits and make money for the time invested in the short term as well. And I don't know about you, but being that we're in business and we want to grow and we want to serve more people, when you start getting those wins with an activity that feels a little, but you know is needed, you're going to show up for yourself. You're going to show up for your business. And that's what I'm going to encourage you to do. So that brings us to the end of today's episode. And I've got to be straight with you. No change, no change. Without taking action, nothing will change for you or your business. So based on what you learned today, what will you take action on? Now, I spoke to a few different camps of where you may be in relation to really exploring the CRM and executing the CRM program in your business. I want to know where you're at, and you need to leave this episode knowing what is the next action step. Am I going to commit to making a decision by X date on the CRM? Am I going to commit to learning my CRM so that I can double down on it? Am I to a point that I know that I've given all I can to the CRM and it's not the right one, so I will commit to making another choice? Wherever you're at, there is an action step that you can take today to start making money from the contacts and people and relationships you have all around you. I really, really want to thank you for being a loyal listener to Productivity Straight Talk. I had the pleasure of attending an event here in Las Vegas. They call it The Market, which is interior designers, with Luann, and she was speaking. So those of you that are Luann fans, I was there with her as she was presenting. And so I got to meet a lot of listeners of Productivity Straight Talk. And I've got to tell you, I am so, so honored that each and every one of you have invested your time and find this podcast to be valuable. It's truly, truly why I do this and show up. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. I also have one last story. So I went to happy hour with two girlfriends that I've known for 15 years. And I had written a post earlier that day, and my girlfriend goes, Amber, you were talking directly to me. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, your post today. I thought you wrote that, Dear Allison. And I was like, okay, tell me more. And she's like, it just resonated with me. And it was exactly the message that I needed to hear. And I was like, really? You didn't even like the post and you didn't comment. And she's like, I know, I just didn't know. And you know what? It was a great reminder is that even though you think I'm talking to you, maybe you're dismissing the fact that it's to you or you don't want to show up. Guess what? I want to hear from you. I said, you know what? Why don't you let me know that it's talking to you? Why don't you put a comment? Because that comment is going to help others feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. She is talking to me. So if that's you and you've been listening for a long time, I want to hear from you. Join us inside our private Facebook community. Shoot me a personal message or an email and just let me know what's resonating for you. How has this been impactful? Because I want to connect with you. I want to hear those stories because that honestly is what fuels my fire. All right. So lastly, before we close out, if you're in a place where you're like, yes, Amber, like you have been providing value that's been really helpful to me and you've been talking to me, but I'm just not sure about if I'm ready to work with you or what are the ways in which we can work together? What would that look like taking this relationship to another level? Then I am going to invite you to schedule a discovery call. And on our discovery call, we're simply going to just talk about what your goals are. Where are you struggling? I will share with you if I think that I can help and I'm the perfect person to help you do that. And if I'm not, that's okay too. But I want to hear where you're at. And if I think that it's best for us to work together and you think it's best for us to work together, we're going to talk about ways to do that. And then you make a decision. And there's really, really no obligation. But if we don't talk, if we don't really explore that, you will never know. So if you are interested in finding out ways that we can work together, I want you to head on over to theproductivityspecialist.com/call. And let's schedule our discovery call to chat about how you can level up everything, your business, your productivity, and your profits. So that's my straight talk for you today. And until next time, have a productive week.